This episode is about my experience with trying to learn Japanese in the first few years until extremely recently when I managed to get my hands on a lot more textbooks. When I was first learning Japanese, I was also trying to learn French at the same time, but at that point I was a lot more into the production of what they call American manga at the time. And so I would hang out on websites that were more conducive toward people who also drew anime and manga. But at the time, when I was still being harassed online by the Comicsgate community on YouTube, I had this issue with this one guy who himself was from the United States. I won't say who it is just because I myself do not believe in harassment. But when we would talk in private messages, he would, once he found out that I knew, once he found out that I was trying to learn Francais at the time, with the idea that I would try to more actively learn Japanese so that I could thrive and be able to survive while I'm learning French on the side for other career opportunities in Europe. He specifically tried encouraging me to primarily focus on learning French, even though I was trying to pursue living in Japan, where what I need is to learn Japanese. Well, as it turns out in my research, this wasn't an isolated experience. A lot of other people in the Japanese language learning community had similar kinds of issues. And so I'm almost curious if there's something about Trump's ideology that makes it harder to learn languages in general. Because, I don't know if the guy himself was a Trumper. Maybe not. But I do know that Trump's administration has had a history of being contentious about things like education. And so I'm not really sure why someone would specifically make it harder for me to learn Japanese specifically, while not really having that terribly much to say about me wanting to learn Francais, when a lot of the reason why I'm more ahead in learning Francais than with Nihongo, even though from a pure audio perspective I actually understand Japanese better than I understand Francais, just because of the way that the hiragana, katakana, and kanji is pronounced. I find it easier to hear. I didn't tell him that, but I don't know why someone would specifically want to make it harder for me to learn Nihongo, even though, it's beneficial for people to learn any language, and it might be even more beneficial for people to know two languages. And so, I don't know if there was a specific reason there why he wanted me to not learn Japanese. But apparently this experience is rather common in the Japanese language learning community, especially online, where a lot of the non-support that people get from learning Japanese comes from white guys in particular, but white people in general, but especially white guys in the Japanese language community are not supportive of other people learning Japanese. And it's just something that I really wish would change in the Japanese language learning community.